Hello, I'm Chuck Phillip with South Alabama Home Inspections, and welcome to another edition of Southern Home Talk. I'm going to do a little series here on your grinder pump. You probably do have one of these on the side of your house, and there are some things you need to be aware of if you do have one of these systems. And you also going to need to be aware of what can and cannot be introduced into it as well. So please stay tuned, and thanks for subscribing. What you're looking at in this photograph is a typical grinder pump system, which includes the sump. The pump is down here below it. This is a clean out with a pop-off cap, which is designed to come off in case this tank overfills. And this is the control box. And this is another system, pretty much the same as the last slide. But you also want to make sure that this tank does not get below ground, or at least the lid does not, because this is the service point to where these bolts have to be removed in order to service this pump that's down below it. So make sure that this does not get underground, and also it can cause rainwater to get into the system, which can limit the service life of it as well. Now you'll notice this cap over here is a little bit different from the cap before. This is a threaded cap. And so this cap will actually unthread in order to gain access to that to clean it out. This is another look at that cap. Some of these caps could be vented as well. But this particular one here is designed, like I said earlier, to pop off in case the tank overfills. Usually all these grinder pumps have an independent breaker, and it's usually found on the outdoor electrical panel. You can see where it's labeled here on the right, grinder. And most of these grinder pumps are going to work on 240 volts. So it's going to be a double pole breaker like you see in the left side. So there may come a time where you might have to come out and check this breaker, or may even have to turn it off, depending on what kind of issue you may be facing with your grinder pump. Okay, this is a general diagram of how this grinder pump system works. And like I say, there are different models of these, and so they're not all going to be the same. So it's all going to boil down to what type of grinder pump system you have installed at your house. But this is pretty typical of what a lot of these look like. And so the way this works, this is the toilet over here on the left. And so when you flush it, it comes down this pipe system, gets introduced into this sump, and then when the water level reaches a certain height, this grinder pump will activate and will grind up any solid waste that's in this and pump it through a smaller line into the sewer system. Now there's often another little box that's located right beside this, and it has a lid, and that's a cutoff valve right there to where the sewer company or whoever services this can actually cut this valve off. Now, like I said before and showed you in some of the other slides, this is the clean out pipe for this as well. Now, some of the problems that's been described to me with these systems, as you can look, there's a series of float switches here, and sometimes these float switches get defective, or they may even get clogged up with any kind of debris that may be in the tank and can cause these to fail. And so, like I said, these grinder pumps do require periodic maintenance and repair. And so just know that this is probably something you're going to have to be facing sometime in the future with your system. Okay, most of these grinder pump systems have a control box on the side of the house that has a red light at the top of it. So if you ever see this light constantly blinking or constantly on, then you probably have some sort of issue going on with this system, and you probably going to need to go ahead and call the service provider to come out and evaluate it and see if there is indeed a problem. And you'll look at this label right here on the front. Most of the ones I've looked at do have a label at the front that usually gives the name and phone number of who actually services these systems. And also some of these have an audible alarm as well. So, like I say, there are different models of these, and it's all going to depend on which one you have. So make sure you keep the service manual handy, and also you may want to go as far as keeping the contact information in your phone. Here's a general list of some of the items that shouldn't be introduced into this grinder pump system. and that's feminine products, including condoms and diapers, wet wipes, including flushables, dental floss, cotton balls, paper towels, and facial tissues, cooking grease and greasy foods, cat litter, eggshells and coffee grounds, or any other abrasive substances. And hair may also affect some of these models, and so you may want to consider putting hair traps in the bathtub and the shower drains. But also look at your service manual for any other things that they may claim that shouldn't be put in the system as well. These vary from model to model. All right, in this photograph, what you're looking at is a grinder pump. This is what's actually down below in that sump. And the general cost of these is around $1,500. And from what I understand, the consensus I've got, it's about $2,500 to replace it, including the labor. Now that can also vary as well. But also know that if you're going out of town for an extended period of time, you're probably going to want to run some water into the system and go outside and make sure this pump is running. And also do not turn it off if you're leaving either, because it does need to run occasionally in order to keep it functional. So just know those two things about it. Grinder pump systems are not part of my home inspections, but I will go out and listen to see if the pump is running. And the way I do this is I'll fill up one of the bathtubs and then pull the plug on it and then run outside and try to get real close to the lid to see if I can hear the pump engage. So, these things here are proprietary, and so the companies, in fact, some of them will void the warranty if you actually take the lid off. So just know that about that. Be really familiar with what your service manual tells you and what kind of warranty is involved as far as servicing these as well, because you can wind up voiding the warranty on your system if you try to go out and try to do any repairs on this yourself. But also, please subscribe to this YouTube channel, Southern Home Talk. We're also Southern Home Talk on Facebook. And if you ever need a home inspection or know someone who does, have them call me, Chuck Phillip, at South Alabama Home Inspections, 251-490-9892. And thanks for watching.